Okay, so as we all know, American Express has some great credit cards with fantastic benefits, but a lot of these credit cards come with very high annual fees. And to offset this, these cards have statement credits to recoup some of that value. But as someone who has been religiously using these statement credits every single month, I've noticed that I'm getting really tired of keeping track of all of them, so let's talk about it. Now, I've made it a routine that at the beginning of each month, I reassess my American Express credit cards to make sure I remember which statement credit I need to redeem for that particular month. And with American Express, I have monthly, semi-annual, and annual statement credits to keep track of. And that doesn't sound too bad since I only have to think about this 12 times per year. But recently, I've started to ask myself, why am I paying all these annual fees to create more work for me to do? I think it should actually be the opposite, where I pay an annual fee and the credit card makes my life easier, not harder. Now, it's not just American Express that does this. Actually, a lot of the major banks do this as well. But with my own personal credit card setup, this is an American Express issue. And so we're going to focus on my annual fee American Express cards with recurrent statement credits, and I'll explain why these credits are burning me out. And the 4 cards in my setup that we'll be focusing on are the Amex Express Platinum Card, which is everyone's favorite card to hate specifically because of the statement credits, the Amex Express Gold Card, the Amex Express Bonvoy Brilliant Card, and the Amex Express Business Platinum Card. Now, the statement credits on one card by itself is probably not going to be as big of a deal, but I can tell you from personal experience that each additional card adds another layer of complexity that has led to my feelings of burnout with American Express. And of course, each of these credit cards have their own perks and benefits outside of the statement credits that may have some direct or indirect value as well, but it's the statement credits that are the focus for today. So let's first start with the Amex Express Platinum Card, aka the coupon book. And of course, this card is the worst offender with the most amount of statement credits on a single card. To make this more organized, I've created a spreadsheet showing a single calendar year, and we're going to fill this out together as we move from one month to the next with the relevant statement credits from each card. So in my situation, here are the relevant statement credits on the American Express Platinum Card. And if this already looks overwhelming to you, don't worry, we're just getting started. So from the top, we have 3 monthly credits: a $15 Uber credit, a $20 digital entertainment credit, and a $13.95 Walmart Plus credit. We also have an annual $189 clear credit, a semi-annual $50 Saks Fifth Avenue credit, an annual $200 airline incidental credit, and an annual $200 hotel credit. Now, what's nice about the digital entertainment credit, Walmart Plus credit, and the clear credit is that they're credits that I consider to be set it and forget it credits. And what I mean by this is that once you've plugged in your Amex Platinum Card into these subscription services, they'll charge you when the fee is due automatically, so there's not much to do after you first set this up. Because of this, once these credits are set up, we can delete these statement credits from our to-do list to simplify our life. So that leaves us with the monthly Uber credit, the semi-annual Saks credit, as well as the annual airline incidental and hotel credits. Now, with the latter 3 credits, I generally try to complete these as soon as I possibly can to clear these from my task list and to not think about them anymore. With the Saks credit, this is pretty easy to use since this is a retail credit, although I do want to mention that waiting may yield a better value. At certain points during the year, Rakuten sometimes has flash sales where you can get as high as 10% back on your online purchases at Saks Fifth Avenue. So you can stack this bonus with that $50 credit, which is a pretty good deal, especially since you can earn MR points with Rakuten. But the issue is that you have to patiently wait for the sale to happen or not happen. So if you don't mind waiting, that's fine, but I personally just try to use the credit right away. I'm very much like Uncle Luke from Luke's Points and Miles when it comes to statement credits. Once I'm given the mission, it's time to execute and move on to the next mission. Now, with the annual airline incidental and hotel credits, I also try to get these credits used as fast as possible, but that's not always going to happen the first month of the year. So I need to actively keep track of them until the credits are fully used. And with the $15 monthly Uber credit, this isn't too difficult to use since I usually just order Uber Eats at a local restaurant and then pick it up. But it's still something I have to remember to do every month. So totaling all those credits together, I use about $1,300 of statement credits on the Platinum Card, which is a good amount and gets me a lot of value, especially when trying to offset that $695 annual fee. Luckily, the Uber credit is the only monthly Platinum credit I have to actively keep track of, and since I also have the Amex Gold Card, which also has its own Uber credit, I can typically use both of them in one purchase. And so the Saks credit, the airline incidental credit, the hotel credit, and the Uber credit are the 4 statement credits I have to actively remember to use with the Amex Platinum throughout the year. And although this is very annoying, I think for me this is a necessary evil because I plan on keeping this card long term because the benefits on this card are worth it to me, and there are two reasons why. The first reason is the exclusive access to the Centurion Lounge Network, including Escape Lounges, which are two lounge networks that I use often since I travel domestically on a regular basis. And since I visit American Express specific airport lounges 4 to 5 times per month, I get a lot of value throughout the year with just this one perk alone. The second reason is the exclusive access to American Express's Fine Hotels and Resorts program. Although I don't typically stay at high-end hotels, I found a sweet spot with this program when I stay in Las Vegas. In this city, there's a lot of different properties to choose from, and not only can you use the $200 hotel credit, but you also get a lot of great perks, such as a $100 resort credit, $60 daily breakfast credit, as well as other intangible benefits such as early check-in and late checkout. So even staying in Las Vegas once per year gets me a ton of value by just having access to American Express's Fine Hotels and Resorts program. So because of these two Amex Platinum specific perks, I plan on keeping the Platinum card for the foreseeable future, despite all the statement credits on the card itself. And so this leads me to the next card on my credit card setup that has regular statement credits, and that would be the American Express Gold Card. Now this card has 2 monthly statement credits, and that would be the $10 Uber credit and the $10 dining credit. Now, if these credits are completely used every month, this brings the effective annual fee of the Gold Card down from $250 to just $10. And using these statement credits at first didn't seem that difficult, but now that I've been regularly using them for more than a year, I can say that it's actually starting to wear me down. Now, the Uber credit isn't too bad since, like I mentioned before, I can combine both the Amex Platinum and the Amex Gold Uber credits together to get $25 per month with $45 in December to use on a single Uber Eats purchase per month. But what has been getting really old is the $10 dining credit, which is limited to only a few select dining merchants. I typically use this credit every month to get one cheesecake at the Cheesecake Factory, but I have to physically go there to redeem this credit. And for me, it's on the way home from work, so it's not too inconvenient, but after doing this every month for over a year, I'm kind of over it, even if the cheesecake is really good. So going back to our chart here with both the American Express Platinum and Gold credits, you can see that we have to keep track of 2 statement credits per month, but if it's January or July, there are some extra credits from the Platinum to keep track of as well. And another card I have is the Amex Bonvoy Brilliant Card, and here's where I think I got pushed over the top into Amex statement credit burnout territory. With this card, you get a $300 dining credit, but this is split up into monthly $25 dining credits to be used for restaurant purchases. And although this credit is much more flexible than Amex Gold Card's dining credit, at least the Amex Gold Card is an everyday driver card. What I mean by this is that it's a card that's usually in your physical wallet since its main multiplier categories are groceries and restaurants, which are expenses that most people have every single day. On the other hand, the Bonvoy Brilliant Card is not that kind of card, and it's only usually used when you're staying at a Marriott property. So I'd rather just leave this card at home and only take it out when I use it for Marriott stays. But this dining credit forces me to use this card at least once a month in a way I prefer not to. Even with its automatic Bonvoy Platinum status, elite night credits, and $85K free night reward, I'm seriously considering canceling this card just because that $25 dining credit is so annoying. So I guess we'll see what happens. And the next American Express card that I have with statement credits is the American Express Business Platinum Card. There are 6 relevant statement credits on this card: a $200 airline incidental credit, a $189 clear credit, a $400 Dell credit, a $360 Indeed credit, a $150 Adobe credit, and a $120 wireless phone credit. And in my situation, only 3 of these credits are important to keep track of: the $200 annual airline incidental credit, the $200 semi-annual Dell credit, and the $10 monthly wireless phone credit. And since the $10 monthly wireless phone credit is also a set it and forget it credit, we don't have to actively think about this one, so we can remove it from our list of things to do. And so you can see that with these 4 credit cards, there are 3 statement credits that I actively have to remember to use every month. I also have to keep track of the semi-monthly and annual credits both in January and July, and because life gets busy and I don't want to forget about them, I try to use them as soon as possible. Now this table doesn't look too complicated, but remember, this is only for my American Express cards. I also have the Bank of America Premium Rewards Elite Credit Card, which has its own $300 airline incidental credit, as well as its $150 lifestyle credit, but at least these credits are annual. So you can see that as you add more and more credit cards with statement credits, the credit schedule complexity can get out of hand very quickly. And I'm all about getting the most value, but I want to do this in the simplest way that I can. And so with all of that being said, what is the best solution for this problem? Of course, we can use Excel spreadsheets to help keep track of these credits like I've shown in this video, and there's also apps to keep track of all of this too, but my plan is pretty simple, and that is to cancel a lot of these cards altogether. Now, I'll be keeping my Amex Platinum long-term, as I mentioned earlier, but I made a recent video going over my new credit card roadmap, and in that plan, I hope to get the US Bank Altitude Reserve card to consolidate multiple cards that cover multiple spend categories into a single card. The Altitude Reserve card does have its own $325 statement credit for eligible travel and dining purchases, but since this credit can be used on regular everyday purchases with few limitations, this shouldn't be an issue at all. So if I eventually get this card and cancel the Amex Business Platinum Card, the Gold Card, and the Brilliant Card, this is what the statement credit schedule will look like. And you can already see how much cleaner and manageable this looks. In this case, I only have to really worry about the Uber credit every month and the Saks Fifth credit every January and July. Of course, I still have 3 annual statement credits, which are the $200 hotel credit, $200 incidental credit, and the $325 travel and dining credit. And so it's not perfect, but the schedule is much cleaner than before and is a good balance of value and simplicity. Now, I also want to just say that this is my own personal experience with statement credits. I think that if you really want to maximize the value of your credit cards, especially on those with annual fees, using as many of the statement credits offered will go a long way, especially if you keep the card past year 1. In fact, that's how I first approached all of my high annual fee cards, but as time went on, I started to get worn down by keeping track of all these statement credits. And if there's one takeaway I want you to get from this video, it's to just be aware of your own personal preference when it comes to keeping track of all the statement credits on each one of your annual fee credit cards. Higher annual fee cards can get you a lot of value, especially ones from American Express. But if you have too many, you run the risk of burning out with statement credits like I have. So just be aware of this issue as you continue to get more and more cards on your credit card journey. And so have you experienced statement credit burnout with your credit cards? Let me know down in the comments below if you have. And if you'd like to see how I'm simplifying my credit card setup to avoid burnout, check out this video next.